I'm Mike Quackenbush. This is Till We Make It, and we are going to cover a somewhat ugly topic. It has happened to me before, and a week ago it happened to two friends of mine. What happens when you discover there is a thief in the locker room? Not every locker room out there is lucky enough to have two locker room detectives in it. So if Mark and Chris don't happen to be in your locker room, I want to share with you an experience I went through twice in the course of my career that left all of us feeling a little bit flabbergasted. And the first time this occurred was more than 10 years ago. It took place at a Chikara event being held in Hellertown, Pennsylvania, when we discovered there seemed to be a thief in the locker room. And luckily, we discovered this before the show had ended. Someone's belongings had gone missing. And in the moment, I felt as if everyone had turned to me, expecting that I would know how to handle the situation. And I'm going to be quite honest about this. I don't know that we handled it the best, but here is how we handled it. And by all means, if you like this solution, feel free to use it. In this particular scenario, we were all lucky enough that no one had yet left the venue. We had all the potential suspects still inside the Hellertown building. And here is how we handled it. We decided that the person whose belongings had been stolen, and it included a jacket, a wallet, etc., would have the ability to go through everyone's belongings until they were satisfied that none of the other performers had burgled them. And as you can probably guess, there was some grumbling, and there was some complaining, and there was some groaning in that moment. But eventually, everyone agreed. We went out into the hall, everyone laid out all of their bags, unzipped them and opened them up, and walked away, so that the person who had their items thieved could go bag to bag until, guess what? We found the jacket. We found the wallet. They were recovered from someone's bag. When a locker room's trust is shattered in that way, it can be exceptionally difficult. Many of us were utterly shocked that this took place right under our noses, but we were very quick to make this decision. We all agreed from that point forward, this person would never be welcome in our locker room again. They had violated the trust of all of us, and in our opinion, there was no way we were going to accept them back after they were willing to steal from one of our own. I realize you may be hearing this story and you were utterly aghast at the method we decided to employ in order to discover the true identity of the thief. And I want you to know it certainly wasn't a perfect method. It was, however, an effective method. And if you're struggling for an idea, well, there is one. But very recently, we also endured a theft in our locker room where we were lucky enough that the venue happened to have a security camera. And we were able to go back through the footage, discover exactly who had stolen the item, and then present it to them as well as to the police. Just recounting these two rather odd stories makes me wonder if I need to do a video about Wrestler's Court, and I hope the consensus is that no, we don't need a video about that sort of thing. However, the likelihood that at some future point you will be in a locker room with someone who decides to help themselves to something that does not belong to them is entirely possible. The longer your career goes, the more likely it will happen. And if you ever come across this before and you experienced an alternate method of dealing with the situation, I would love to know how you handled it. Please leave me a comment down below, because this is the sort of thing I feel like this channel is meant to address, and yet there is no perfect strategy for it. I don't know what more I have to say on this topic exactly, but I guess I'll cap off the story that I began with. That guy that we caught stealing from us more than 10 years ago, we made sure the word was spread far and wide, and ultimately he ended up being blackballed right out of professional wrestling and hasn't had a match in over 10 years. If there's a topic burning in your brain that isn't Wrestler's Court that you want us to tackle here on Till We Make It, one of the best ways to reach us is on our Twitter account. We're at Till We Make It. Or drop something in the comments below. I go surfing through there in the days after the videos publish, responding to the people that post and looking for new ideas, because we do tend to make about 3 of these a week.